Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And I got my VPN camera here on my laptop because we're taking a look at some auditions from the second season of Street Dance Girl Fighter. It is from the second episode. A lot of these auditions we didn't get to see in the actual episode. I have been doing a full episode reaction, and so I had a chance to tackle some auditions already that weren't shown in the initial showing from earlier in the week, and I got to release those earlier, I think yesterday, and it's really nice that I get to take a look at them here. If you want to see any context behind any of the episodes that we are watching together, I have that all on Patreon. That is exclusive to there, but these excerpts are for everybody. So we're gonna go ahead and check these out. Focus. Huh. Oh, I like the build out there. That was nice. Okay, okay. A little bit off there. Some of them are starting to lose energy a little bit there. Okay. All right, so I don't remember which group they ended up going with here. But the energy, I would say the energy is really nice, but if you notice though, that they're not as clean as I feel like it needed to be for the type of concept they were trying to justify. They set up with the heartbeats. You notice how very extroverted their movement is for how subtle the sound is. So I think that would be my first note of being more mindful of whenever they choose to hit those heartbeats, to be more subtle in the approach, but I understand what they were going for with more so they're trying to create that visual of bringing somebody back to life maybe, or registering with the heartbeat, bringing it down, creating that tension or that flow as they stretch out the energy with this in particular. They pull it through. Da 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 da. Yeah, so the build on there was really nice. Da 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 da. So they try to hit that do 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 do, you know. And so that was nice, but I do feel that a lot of the range that they're doing here, I like the transition, but the range of their movement doesn't feel as clear or as clean as it needs to be whenever they're trying to hit that visual, especially when they were traveling more towards the front. As we see them run and transition, I would say my front people specifically, you notice that their energy is more isolated to the upper body, so that would be another note to really invest the whole body within whatever you're trying to do movement-wise. That part right there, that's a pretty big mistake. They're supposed to have this kind of interlocking. This ended up taking way more time. I don't even think they interlocked at the end of it though. Just near that very tail end, it really felt like there was some concepts they were trying to go for, but they weren't landing as well as they needed to. I think that's just my overall note for this. And I don't know if Forcus made it in. I don't recognize them, but it doesn't mean that they didn't make it in. So I'm just going to make a little note here. Personally, I don't feel like this is strong enough for getting in, and if they did get in, then feedback should have gotten in, is really how I would equate this to, because feedback was cleaner. They just didn't have as much performance or presence, but here they are trying to bring performance, but a lot of their cohesion as a group is very off. The energy with the claps, I do like the level usage of having your front row be taller and then your back row be lower, and then having your utmost back row be all the way to the floor. So that was really great usage of levels, using the prop was a really fun choice, but because not everybody was hitting it the same way, notice my dancer in the back corner really not utilizing that prop as effectively. I think definitely takes away from this, taking it apart. And that bangarang was a nice moment. I did like that. So they're doing a good job of presenting outward, but my note still stands of you want to make sure that the range is where it needs to be, which in this case right here, you notice the range is pretty spot on. And I'd be happy with this. I would say her arm's a little overshot. It needs to kind of be more right here. But everybody else, notice that everybody's legs, notice her leg's not even up and it needs to be, or even starting to come up. So that would be my overall note, is there needs to be clarity on the content itself, not just the range, but the actual content. So that's just my in general. Love the energy of that hinge to dropping it down with their energy. I do like that choice. And then they frame well building it together, but this dancer in particular is one that I noticed the most as not utilizing her full body, or she's allowing her upper body to move, but her lower body is not helping compensate for some of the hinges or some of the isolations or grooves specifically. And because she's near the front, I think that would overall affect how this would come across. I love the energy build up there. It was nice, you know, having everybody on the outside, having your inside V come forward. Really great choice. And they hit it. They go, bah! It was nice. That was really nice. And they melt, boom, boom. And then they melt down, boom, boom. And they bring it up and over. So in general, I think that was pretty okay, but I don't think in comparison because if we are playing the comparison game, compared to the groups that made it in, compared to the groups that did not make it in, I don't feel like what they demonstrated was enough to get in based on the criteria or subconscious criteria that these judges or these mentors were having for who they were picking as a crew. You know, they do have numbers which you can utilize, and I know at this point in their auditions, that was something that was really placated towards, and they wanted, I think numbers didn't really matter. And then of course, whenever everything disbanded, it mattered a lot more. But that's still my note of, I feel like if we're looking for mentorship, they would be a good team to consider for mentorship, but from a competitive standpoint in comparison to other groups that I feel like were cleaner, they just had other faults within. I personally think that they should not be included in the I made it in group. Just for my overall note. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more Street Dance Girl Fighter content, whether it's season 1, season 2, or full episode reactions of either, I have that on Patreon. I also have Street Dance China season 6 actively being reacted to, and most of that stuff can't even make it to YouTube just from sheer copyright. And if you want to check out any of that, as well as I have K-pop and any dance content in general, I love watching dance regardless of where it comes from, because I think it's just, there's just such beauty in art from around the world, and I'm very excited that I get to do that here in this position with Korea, Street Dance Girl Fighter, and abroad. So this has been awesome. I am Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.